Hi friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. We just spent the entire morning together out in the garden. We planted our tomatoes and our onions. We planted a whole bunch of flowers, and I went and got a shower because it is Cinco de Mayo, and I had a girlfriend coming over tonight to have some tacos with me. So I thought we'd use this time to do some small things I want to do around the house. I want to fill up my vanilla bottle. I want to make some hummingbird nectar. And because it's Cinco de Mayo and we're having tacos and guacamole and salsa, I decided at the very last minute that we are going to make Margarita cupcakes. The major problem that I have is I went to the store because I had to get tequila because I wanted margaritas tonight with our tacos, and I forgot to get limes. So I have lime juice, and for aesthetics, I have my girlfriend stop in and get in some limes if she remembers. If not, that's fine. Oh, I need this. But I have her get in some limes so we can put some limes on the top of these cupcakes. So it is about less than 3 hours before dinner. So it's going to be cutting it close with these cupcakes, but it's going to be fine. We're going to get it done. So I have just poured into my bowl 1 jar of my white cake mix. And then we're going to try to juice it up a little bit. We're also going to be making a really good frosting that is going to go on these cupcakes. But to get it started, I'm just going to add a splash of tequila. White cake mix calls for 3 eggs. Two-thirds a cup of milk. And then I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the oil since we added that tequila. It calls for I did too much milk. It called for 1/4 cup of milk and 2/3 cup of oil, so I switched that. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to do about 1/2 cup of oil. And we'll check our liquid ratio. See, it should still bake up just fine. It does call for a splash of vanilla. I'm almost out of vanilla, but we'll add a splash of vanilla. Maybe. There we go. And then if you had fresh limes, I would zest a fresh lime and juice the fresh lime. I have bottled lime juice, so that's what we're going to use, and hopefully it's okay. So I'm going to give this a whisk. And this is the thing I love about jarred mixes. I literally decided within 5 seconds I wanted to make these cupcakes. And I don't have to make a mess with getting everything out. I have the cake mix ready to go. And it's not a box cake mix, it's homemade. I know exactly what's in it. So in less than a minute, you can have a cake ready to go in the oven. So I've gotten this all mixed. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it in my cake pan, or my cupcake liner. I'm going to put my cupcake liners in the cupcake pan. I had to wash it because I have a mouse problem. Friends, I have a mouse problem. So when I bought my house, I've been here for 7 years. When I bought my house, we did notice mouse traps everywhere, particularly behind the fridge and behind the stove. And I have a dog and 2 cats. And I have never, in the 6 years prior to this year, I have never seen a mouse. So, over the winter and right around the beginning of winter, I saw 2. I saw 2 mice in my basement, and then the little devils, one of them made their way up here, and I actually found him in my drawer that I keep like my plastic wrap and stuff in. No part of me is afraid of mice. I actually think they're super cute, and so I don't want to kill them. But you can't be in my house. Like, this is the rule. You can't be in my house, and you most certainly cannot be in my kitchen. So we put out mouse traps, and I caught 2, never saw any more. I thought we're golden. So about a week ago, I saw one come out from underneath this stove and run across the dining room, and my cat, who I normally consider my killing machine, he just stared at it. He just stared at it as it ran by him. I was like, are you kidding me? So clearly I am feeding my cats too much. And then he had the audacity to, that evening, hardcore, play with his pet mouse. Play with his pet mouse for a solid 30 minutes. Throwing up in the air, running around. I'm like, there is a real mouse in this house you could play with. Not the fake one. So I set out traps again, put them up here, currently there are like 4 things underneath and behind the stove. I got poison, I got bait, I got traps. Behind the stove is everything. Well, I keep my muffin pans underneath the oven in that little like cubby hole. I don't know what it's called, but I keep them underneath the oven. And so I get them out today, and I find out where this little sucker has been living. Sure did, friends, sure did. So, I have heavily washed and bleached these and sanitized them, and I feel comfortable with how well I've cleaned these. But I put them in the oven to dry off because they were wet, so now they're just a little hot. But that's okay. But, moral of the story is, I have not seen the mouse. I need to go check the trap. I actually haven't checked the trap lately. It's so nice outside. Now, again, I have never had mice, so I don't know how mice work. It's so nice outside. I think he would go outside, right? Like, this is my thought. Like, why would he want to stay in here? I'm dropping cupcake batter on the floor. So, I don't know if he's still in here or not. I'm hoping not. I haven't seen him. I'm hoping either he left or a cat had a delicious meal. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, when I turn on my oven, and I turn on the oven first, and then I got the pans out, and I started washing them right away, and then I realized after the oven like said it was up to temperature, I'm like, oh my god, what if the mouse is still in the oven? I would have lost it. Like, there would have been crocodile tears over that entire scenario. So I got the flashlight, and I have checked. He is not in the oven. But the things that I don't want to have to be concerned about. I mean, I don't understand. I have a dog and 2 cats living in this house. I did not think mice would be a problem for me. Interesting. Okay. So now that I'm going to end that little rant there, and I'm just going to get these guys all filled up. I don't think they're too runny at all. They actually seem like the perfect consistency. I just tasted that batter. And I can't necessarily like pinpoint the tequila in it or the lime in it, but it definitely gives it a really nice flavor. I think these are going to be really good. Now, to make my cleanup easier, I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm wiping up all of the spills I made. And because these are hot, they have actually, the little drops I made have started to actually bake a little bit. but we're going to get what we can because it just makes the cleanup so much easier. So these are going to go in the oven for probably 20-25 minutes. We'll start checking them around 20 minutes. Okay, while we wait for them to cook, we're not going to make the icing quite yet because I have a couple other things I want to do first. So we're just going to try to use our time appropriately. We're going to fill up our vanilla. So I have 2 of these going. Actually, let's check the other one while we're at it. So I make my own vanilla, and I really like making my own vanilla. I think for the price, the vanilla beans are expensive, but I'm getting true vanilla, not some of that crap you can buy in the store. True vanilla is a little bit costly, so I prefer making it by myself or making it for myself. However, I don't quite understand the process, so if someone could explain it to me, I would love that. I've Googled it, I've tried doing the research, and I don't know what I'm missing, but my mind is not comprehending it. So how you make vanilla is you buy vanilla beans, and you can't see them in here, but I have a pack of 20 vanilla beans in this one, and this was honestly fine. It's a big jar compared to my head. Does anybody else compare sizes to their head? I do that all the time. I'm thinking about all the things, like I've compared zucchinis and pumpkins, and I'm pretty sure cakes or like cupcakes or some sort of food item, I compare it to the size of my head. I don't think that's normal. Okay, we're gonna move on. Compared to the size of my head, it's a big jar. This vanilla actually was really, really good. But for this one, I think I did 30 to 35 vanilla beans for this jar. So how it works is this jar is all but empty. It just has a splash in there. So I'm going to refill this up. So the idea with having just one vanilla, which I don't understand, is once this guy got lower down to here, you refill it with vodka. How you make vanilla is an alcohol of your choice, and we'll talk with that, and vanilla beans. But the thing that I don't understand is if this vanilla was here, and I was to top it with more fresh vodka, it would be basically just straight vodka. And I wouldn't want it in my coffee, I wouldn't want to cook with it, because to make vanilla, it takes months to years. You can let this guy has been sitting for at least 3-4 months. It's starting to smell like vanilla, but it's a vanilla vodka right now. Let's see if we can get a little jar to see what it looks like. See how dark it is. The longer it goes, oh, look at that. The longer it goes, the darker it will get. I didn't want to get a lot out, but you can see how dark and pretty that vanilla is. So this one's going to go for a long time yet. Like, I'm not ready to use this puppy yet. But that's the thing I don't understand. I have 2 going. So while I've been using this guy has been sitting. And when I'm ready to use this guy, which he'll actually go in rotation now, actually, I would like him to sit longer. But luckily we're not in baking season, so I won't be using him too much. But this guy will be sitting then for the next however long it takes me to use this guy. So I know a lot of people only have like one that they use, and I don't understand. So if someone could enlighten me, how do you only have one vanilla? I would appreciate that, because I have 2, and my system works. It 100% works for me, but I feel like I might be making it harder for myself. My hair is wet and in my face, and sorry I mess with my hair so much. But my system works, but I don't think I'm doing it right. I think I'm making it harder for myself. But anywho, let's go ahead and make vanilla. So vanilla is just vanilla beans. I bought mine off of Amazon. I don't think I can get that out, can I? Oh, I can. Oh my god. I bought mine off of Amazon. They are a little bit more expensive. They're probably about $20 for 10 beans. And then when I get between 20 to 40. And I get them, I slice them open, and then I drop them into the jar. And your vanilla beans can go multiple times. So these beans have only gone once. I love looking at them, I don't know why. These beans have only been used once, so we're going to use them at least twice. So I'm just going to, I have a handle of Banker's Club vodka, and you can use whatever you want. I'm using the cheapest vodka I could find today because I don't have a lot of money to spend on making vanilla today, and it should be honestly just fine. They always say use the cheapest vodka you can find. You can use rum. I was actually going to get this one and make this one a Captain Morgan one. However, Captain Morgan was more expensive than this handle of vodka was today, so I just, the next round we make with new vanilla beans, we'll probably use maybe some Captain, because that will give it all the spices of like a spiced rum will be in your vanilla, and that actually sounds really good. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Add your vodka, add your vanilla beans, put your lid on, and then I'm going to give this a shake. And then this guy, the old one that we've been using, or sorry, the old one that has been sitting, we're now going to move up to our cabinet. And then this one, I'm going to go put in my dining room. I put it in a corner, and it'll sit until we're ready to use it. And that is how quickly it is to, or that's how quick it is to make fresh homemade vanilla. And so I have a whole big jar of this. So my bottle of Banker's Club was I think $9 for a handle. When I compare it to the size of my head, for this much vodka, it was $9. That is some cheap, bad vodka. And then the cost of your vanilla beans. But you could not, oopsie, you could not buy this much vodka, probably the $35 to $40 it cost for me to make this much vanilla. So it is a better deal to get real true vanilla, but you gotta put a little bit of money in the forefront. But that's okay, once you have the beans, you have the beans, and we're good. So I'm gonna go put this away and we'll start the next project. So the next thing I'm gonna be making is some hummingbird food. I got this super cute glass hummingbird feeder at Goodwill yesterday, and I have hummingbird feeders, but this one was pretty. So I've actually really enjoyed, I have been feeding the birds for the past week now, and I've actually really been enjoying watching the birds come to my feeder, and I actually have a lot of the same ones come to the feeder. I'm able to identify them. And today in the garden we actually had a mourning dove, I think that's what it was, that hung out in the garden with me for a good while. And even when I left, it stayed in the garden for a while. It might even still be down there. I haven't gone down to check. But I don't know, I'm really enjoying, like, the whole point of gardening for me, there's so many different facets of it that I love. I do it because I want to know what I'm eating, and I want to cut out preservatives, and I want to eat healthier, and I want to save money. And I also do it because I love reconnecting back with nature, and this is where, in the garden, my hands in the soil, surrounded by growing things, is where my heart really soars. And so just adding some birds to the mix has been lovely. So we're gonna make some hummingbird food for the hummingbirds, and hopefully we can get some of them. So what I'm doing is I have 1 cup of sugar to 4 cups of water. So 1 part sugar, 4 parts water. All we want to do is dissolve that sugar. We'll dissolve the sugar. We will have it cool completely, and then we will put it into our hummingbird feeders. Now, when you buy hummingbird feed at the store, it's always red, because red attracts hummingbirds. They like the color red. Their flowers that they normally go to are red. So hummingbird food you buy from the store is red. However, there have actually been a lot of studies that say that the red dye that is added for the hummingbird food is, 1, not needed, and 2, it's actually harmful to them. So nobody that I know who makes, and I know a lot of people who make hummingbird food because it's so simple and easy, nobody adds red food color into it, especially because everything about their feeders is red. So we will not be, this is all we're going to do, we're not going to add red food color into it. And secondly, what my mom does, which I do as well, this idea came from her, is you have this whole big thing, and the idea is lovely to fill the whole thing up with the sugar water, and that way you don't have to do it that often. However, this sugar water can go bad. My mom has noticed. My mama's farm has a ton of hummingbirds. It's actually called Hummingbird Acres. That's what she named it when we first got it, because there are so many hummingbirds. And they actually will stop going to her feeders after the water was sitting out for a couple of days, especially in the sun, because it just, I guess it gets maybe too syrupy, I don't know. They don't want it anymore. So my mom and I only fill them up about halfway, a third of the way. So I have 3 feeders we're going to be filling up today, and we're going to hopefully get all 3 just enough, just a little bit in there for these 3 feeders for today. What I do want to do in the future is just make a big batch of this and keep it in the fridge, because you can use it for, you know, probably a week or 2 before it would maybe not be good anymore. Does it go bad? I guess in the sun it goes bad. Does it go bad in the fridge? I don't know. Point of the matter is, you can make a big batch of this up and stick it in your fridge, and then when you want to fill up your hummingbird feeders, it's super easy. I am going to do that. However, I only have in this house organic cane sugar, and it is a little bit more expensive. So I want to go get just a regular bag of cheap sugar, and that's what I'm going to use for these for the hummingbirds. They don't need my organic expensive cane sugar. So I'm only doing 1 batch. And I was just at the store, but I didn't even think to get the sugar. So, future Caitlin, get just plain sugar for the hummingbirds. My sugar water is done. So I'm just going to let that completely cool. It's hot, so I'm going to move it back. Let that completely cool. And it's been 20 minutes on the cupcakes. I'm letting them go for just another 2 or 3 minutes, because they are basically done, but a couple of them are still a little bit wet, so just another 2 or 3 minutes. Oops. Bottom ones are done. I think the top one. Yep. All done. So that took, in the oven, they took about, I think it was 22 minutes total then. So because these are tonight's dessert, and dinner starts in 2 hours and 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put these on a wire rack, let them briefly cool down so they're not completely steaming, and then I'm going to move them into the fridge. Okay, we have them all out of the pan. And this guy here, he just looks terrible. So we don't want him to go in the fridge. He looks terrible. Blade face, blood. Uh-huh. I think I could have been heavier on the tequila and the lime, but I 100% think this doesn't taste like a straight white pigment. You can definitely tell. You know, maybe it's my oil to milk ratio. Yeah, I don't know, but this is good. This is really good. Okay, this one is going to be my cooking snack. I'm going to put these on the counter just to sit for a few minutes before we move them outside, into the outside fridge. So now we're going to do some things in an effort to prepare for our dinner tonight. It is Cinco de Mayo, and I am making tacos. However, it's also a pretty beautiful day. The sun has been out all day. The temperature has fluctuated from hot to cold, but it's still a beautiful day. After cold and rainy, I will take today. So, oopsie, dropped a shell. If you don't know, if you drop a shell, use part of that egg, part of that shell, to go in and get the shell that you dropped, and you'll get it no problem. So I have 1 egg in my mayo jar. And you want to whisk this with your left. I use a hand mixer. I have great success with a hand mixer, but you can use a blender or a food processor. But I found both of those, I never made enough mayo that actually worked. So I just use my mayo jar and my hand mixer, my immersion blender. Now, I just spend about 20-30 seconds blending just the egg. So the egg gets really nice and foamy and doubles in size. And mayo is super easy to make. My favorite way to make it is with a good dollop of Dijon mustard, some salt, a nice splash of vinegar. I don't measure anything, we just eyeball and we go to taste. Mix them together. And then we're going to add in our oil slowly. Oh, I probably need to go downstairs to get some more. We have avocado oil that we're going to add in slowly. My trick with making homemade mayo is if it's not getting thick enough, add some more oil. It means you probably don't have enough oil in it. That's pretty good. So I'm going to leave that there. You're probably wondering, it's Cinco de Mayo. You've said you're having tacos. Why are you making mayonnaise? Because I am not having traditional tacos. No. I am making shrimp tacos. Shrimp tacos are my favorite shrimp and fish. I will never not get, where did I leave that? I will never not get fish tacos if they're on the menu. They are my favorite thing. So, on my shrimp tacos, I make coleslaw and I make a delicious bang bang sauce, which I made so many times with y'all. I make it all the time. And then, what makes it even better is I use a little help from my local grocery store, and they sell and make a fresh mango salsa. And if this is not an entire tropical feast of deliciousness, then I don't know what is. So this is my go-to tacos that I love to make. So just so life is easy for when my friend gets here, I'm going to make the coleslaw, I'm going to make the bang bang sauce, and then all I have to do, closer to the time that we're cooking with the tacos, is I need to cook the shrimp. And for that, I don't know if I'm going to bring you along for that. I haven't gotten used to videoing, like filming in front of everybody yet. A lot of my friends are not like gung-ho with this, so I haven't gotten comfortable doing that yet. So I don't know if I bring you along for the cooking of the shrimp or not. But what I'm going to cook, the spice-wise, is I'm going to use this Pamper Chef chili lime. And I'm only using this because I want that lime flavor. So you could use any sort of flavor and spice that you want, maybe like a blackened, oh my god, I should see, do they make that, a blackened spice? Is that like is that a spice you can buy, or is that a spice you make? Like you buy like a blackened fish. That's what you should do. Blacken it and then do it. But I'm like a squirrel today. I have all these thoughts just like going a mile a minute. So I'm going to cook the shrimp with this chili lime sauce, some soft tortillas, my coleslaw, bang bang sauce, and then my fresh mango salsa for a fantastically delicious taco. So to get started, I'm going to get my coleslaw, which we're going to be using our pickled coleslaw for. So we're going to just make our coleslaw in just a plastic dish. I can just put it right in the fridge. I maybe have, there we go. I have a jar of pickled coleslaw. I just want to taste it, make sure, see how pickly it is. That's good. This is coleslaw I made 2 years ago from my cabbage and carrot. And I 100% don't have enough cabbage and my carrots are too big. So I'm going to try this one too. So we are going to be making some more of this year, but this stuff is so good. This is the spoon I've already used. This stuff is so good. The longer it sits, like I said, it's going on 2 years. The longer it sits, just the better it gets. Really, really good. So to it, just to cut the vinegariness of it, and when you're making coleslaw, you add vinegar to it anyway. So this is a great shelf-stable coleslaw to have on your pantry shelf. So just to cut that, I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar. And then I'm going to add my mayo. And just give it a stir. You don't need a lot of mayo because the liquid from the coleslaw itself, the pickled coleslaw, helps thin it out. And now I'm just going to do a pinch or two of salt. Okay. Now I'm going to give this a taste. Let me give this a taste. That's really good. And so I'll be honest, I don't like regular coleslaw. I'm trying to think of what regular coleslaw tastes like. I don't like regular coleslaw. I like this every single time. So maybe I've just gotten used to this, but I think this is really good. So I'm going to put a lid on this and put this in the fridge. And then this is going to just sit until we make our tacos. And it's just going to help marinate and lock in all of that flavor. So good. We're going to make my bang bang sauce. So we're going to take some more of that mayo. Bang bang sauce is my favorite. I put it on absolutely everything. We have our chili sauce that we make. If you don't make this, you can buy chili sauce from the store. It's in the Asian aisle. And then some sriracha. That's where we get our heat from. And then just the smallest sprinkle of sugar helps round out all those flavors. Okay. So this has a really nice level of spice, but it's going to be paired with the creamy coleslaw, which is going to take down that spiciness just a bit. And then we're going to have that fresh salsa on top, so it's really going to help cut that spiciness. But so I think these are going to be great flavors together. The next thing we're going to do to hopefully help save some time is we're going to make our margaritas. So I don't actually know how to make margaritas, so we're going to figure it out together. And my thought process is I can make a big old picture of them, stick them in the fridge, or maybe the freezer. Maybe I think the fridge will be cold enough so the ice won't melt. We're going to make them and we're going to stick them somewhere so that when my friend gets here, we just have to pull out the drink and we don't have to. So basically, once I'm done here, I have a couple more things we're going to do. I'm going to pour myself a margarita. The whole reason I want to have margaritas is because look at what I found at the thrift store. Isn't that the cutest glass? I am so excited. So we have all of the stuff that we planted today. We still have to go out and water. It's only 4 o'clock. She'll be here in the next 2 hours. So I just want to get everything done and get everything cleaned up so that when she gets here, I'm not frantically trying to cook. I just got to cook the shrimp and they're super easy. And then everything is already cleaned up. So when she leaves, I'm not in the kitchen for an hour cleaning up. We're trying to get everything done. And then I can have a little bit of a sit down, hopefully with my book before she gets here. Just relax for a few minutes before I play hostess. So, I got a bottle of tequila and I got a bottle of Margarita mix. So what do? It's in ounces. I don't know what that means. I don't know what ounces. Okay. Oh, oh my God. Guys. So, my best friend for Christmas this year got me this cute little measuring cup, and it is in ounces inside. I was just gonna eyeball this and be like, oh, that looks like 2 ounces. But now we can actually measure. So it says I need 1.5 ounces of tequila to 4.5 ounces of my margarita mix with half a cup of ice. I'm gonna tell you right now that does not seem like enough tequila, but let's see. So I need 1.5 ounces. So let's do, I don't know. I've already stopped measuring. That's 4 ounces of tequila. So 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. So I need another half an ounce, and apparently we're tripling the recipe. I'm not trying to get sloshed at all, but I do like the taste of tequila, so I would like to taste it. Okay, so 4.5 ounces of tequila times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 is, I'm gonna go, oh, this only holds 10. Okay, so this is gonna be a future Caitlin problem. Okay, there's 10 ounces. Ah. I think that's fine, right? Okay, now we need ice. Ready, Freddie? Okay. There are still some big ice chunks in there, but I have given up. But it tastes good. Minus the ice crust, but minus the big chunks of ice. I'm not a bartender at all. I'm going to put this in the freezer because there is a lot of slush. So I'm going to put this in the freezer to, well, not completely harden, but for all that slush to really get nice and frozy. Frozy? Is frozy a word? No. It is now. Sorry. Okay, it is time to make the frosting for our cupcakes. Now, if you wanted to do a non-alcoholic version, I don't know how to do that. I barely know how to do the one that I'm doing, but I'm sure just leave out the tequila and use lime. I'm just doing a splash of tequila to a block of cream cheese, splash of lime, and then a good helping of confectioner's sugar. I'm going to blend that all together and go from there. Okay, I'm going to get something to try this with. Now, if I wasn't using a liquid, I would have added some milk in here. But because I did tequila and lime juice, and again, if you had fresh limes, I would 1,000% put lime zest in here. I think that would taste really good. It would taste really good, but I think it would add really pretty green specks. I think would be good. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more tequila. I'm gonna taste that tequila. Just do a good swig. And another swig of lime juice. And then I think we're there. Now, I'm obviously not cooking the tequila out of these cupcakes or out of this icing. So they are boozy cupcakes, so eat accordingly. Oh, OMG, that's good. That's good stuff. Now because my icing is a little runny, I'm gonna put this in the fridge to set up, and then it's 4:30, so we have an hour and a half. So I'm gonna put it in the fridge to set up, and then we'll come back and we'll ice those cupcakes real quick. I forgot all of the things. Okay, I need fresh cilantro, and I just planted my fresh cilantro, but that is not going to be good enough for the guacamole. I have to ride cilantro. I really don't want to go back to the store. We're going to plow ahead. I'm not going back to the store. I'm actually getting really tired. So we're going to go ahead with what we got, and it'll be fine. We're going to make some fresh guacamole. I'm going to use 2 avocados. I majorly messed up this guacamole. I will admit, I just really don't want to go to the store right now. So I just did some dried cilantro, some lime juice, some salt, and then I'm going to do, you could do a salsa verde in here, like tomatoes, chopped up onions. I'm just going to do a little pinch of onion powder, a little pinch of garlic powder, the smallest pinch of garlic powder. I'm going to mash all of this. You could add a jalapeno in here if you wanted to. I do have frozen jalapenos, but I don't really need this to be spicy. What I really like to do, and I also forgot this, I just forgot everything today, is I went to a Mexican restaurant down in Texas, and they made the best guacamole, and they fire roasted all of their vegetables. So tomatoes, they fire roasted, and then they added into here. But then they took just a squeeze of orange juice, and when I tell you that really opened up the guacamole, that's what I do every single time, and I just, nope. Willow, come on. So a squeeze of orange is what I do every time, but again, I forgot that. So let's see if this is let's see if this is passable. It is 100% passable. I'm going to add the rest of that lemon juice. I'm going to do a bit more salt. Or not lemon juice, lime juice. And I don't taste the cilantro, so I'm going to do some more cilantro. What would also be good in here, that I'm not going to do because I have my friend coming over, what I would do if it was just me is add in some pickled red onions. Just dice them up small. I might actually do that. That actually might be good. Let's try it right now and decide. just want a little heat. I am desiring a little heat, so I'm just gonna add some crushed red pepper flakes. This is not at all a fresh guacamole, but when I forgot all of the ingredients, this is a passable guacamole. It tastes good. I taste the cilantro now. I taste the lime juice. A pinch more. Try it again. I think I'm going to eat all of this before my friend gets here. It is really good. Mm. That'll do. That will do. So what I'm going to do, they've added a lot of lime juice in there, so that will help the avocado from browning. But what will make avocado brown is air. So I'm going to take my plastic wrap, and I'm actually going to press it down onto my avocado. If I can cut it, that's what I'm going to do. Just like when you're like making a pudding and you don't want like that film. But my plastic wrap is really good. It keeps wanting to stick to the bowl. Stick to the avocado, please. So, first layer, press down, and get all of the air out. Just like that. And then I'll come in and put the second layer over top. Okay, I sat for about 10 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap this up, and then we only got 2 things to do before we can go pour ourselves our first margarita and go back to the garden. I need to put nitrogen on the onions and then get them watered in along with the tomatoes. Oopsie. Actually, I spilled the whole way, even though I said I wasn't going to. I didn't actually try to, it just kind of happened. And I'll be honest, I'm feeling lazy. I didn't go out and get the third hummingbird feeder, and that would have been the perfect amount to fill all 3 of these. Okay, let's flip. And this one lost its hook, so for now, we're just going to use a zip tie. Okay, I'm going to set these to the side until I go out to water my plants. 2, done. I always have such good intentions when I make cupcakes to pipe the frost in, and to be completely honest, 99.9% of the time, even if I were to do that, my frosting is not thick enough, so it would not actually stay piped. Like, it would just fall. But now that I'm just putting the icing on top and swirling it around, I actually think it looks pretty. Look So what I'm going to do is when I get the limes, I'm just going to cut a piece of lime, a thin piece of a lime, and put a lime on each cupcake, just for decoration. And I think these are going to be the perfect dessert to our shrimp tacos. And a perfect way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can really taste the tequila, especially in this icing. It 100% tastes like a little margarita. I think this was a brilliant idea. Sometimes I amaze myself. I amazed myself today. So good. Now, I don't want to go and serve my friends a cupcake that doesn't taste good, so I need to try it, right? To make sure it tastes good. The perks of being an adult, you can have a cupcake before dinner. Oh my god. This is good. You need to go make these. You won't regret it. When you make these cupcakes, think a little bit ahead. What I will do next time I make these, I will 1000% make these again. What I will do next time is get some crystallized sugar, or like that big sugar that you put on like sugar cookies. Put some of that on top, and then zest or curl your lime so you have a little bit of that lime with each bite. But I'm gonna put a lime piece on top. That will take these cupcakes, make them beautiful. But as they are, they're delicious. Mixing dessert and alcohol can never go wrong. I didn't think it could, but I'm glad I proved that it couldn't. So I am going to get the shrimp out, get them ready to be cooked, pour myself a margarita in my margarita glass, and I'm going to go feed and water the garden. My friend will be here in half an hour, and I am tired. So we are going to go relax. I'm going to have a great time with my friend and enjoy Cinco de Mayo. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you guys for hanging out in the kitchen. It's been a long day between the garden and the kitchen, and I appreciate each and every one of you that chooses to spend your time and watch me. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, friends.